Good evening, everyone. Before I begin with the last talk of the day, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I shall be presenting a multimodal imaging in simple and combined hematoma. So, before I begin, I just want to share a brief clinical and histopathological overview of combined hematoma of retina. It was described in 1973 by Gass as a benign elevated pigmented lesion composed of retina, retina pigment epithelium, blood vessels, and overlying vitreous with inner retinal contraction. Based on his clinical observations, he laid certain clinical features which were consistent with the diagnosis of combined hematoma. Amongst them, there were 7 clinical features he described with the elevated gray-white lesion extending in a fan-like projection, blending imperceptibly with surrounding RPE along with pigmentation at the margins, covered by thickened gray-white retinal and pre-retinal tissue, along with the contracture of inner surface, and with the absence of RPE or choroidal atrophy, and also with the absence of any retinal detachment, hemorrhage, exudation, or vitreous inflammation. Based on the location of the lesions, the hematoma are being described at the disc or near the disc. That is the peripapillary hematomas at the macula or near the periphery or the equator. Now, the histopathological evidence comes from this work by Vogel et al., who described 4 cases with peripapillary pigmentation, which were enucleatic suspecting a melanoma. What they found in the histopathology was a massive disorganization of retina where none of the retinal layers were discernible, and the proliferation of retinal pigment epithelium throughout the retinal layers. This work by Vogel et al. Formed the basis of hematoma for Gass, where in his original work, he described 7 cases, out of which only 2 were peripapillary, while rest of the 5 cases were macular and equatorial, which were just presumed to be hematoma based on the clinical resemblance with the peripapillary cases. There was a contradictory evidence few years later regarding the histopathology of macular lesions, which were described as congenital retinopigment epithelial malformations by Lacroix et al. And the histopathology of the macular lesions, which resembled the peripapillary cases, showed the retinal layers were maintained and were only disorganized. The retinal layers were discernible in the macular lesions. There was no evidence of RPE migration throughout the retinal layers, whereas there was only RPE hypertrophy or hyperpigmentation. Thereby, they termed this macular combined hematoma as rather as congenital malformation of retina and RPE. Now coming to the multimodal imaging, basically the OCT spectrum has been well illustrated in the literature, but basically for the macular lesions, be it the maxi or the mini figs, where we see the infolding of the inner retinal layers along with the tags along the vitreoretinal surface, or the various configurations of the outer plexiform layer, be it the sawtooth configuration or the omega sign. But these constellation of signs on the OCT which we observe are not only exclusive for the combined hematoma. They have been seen in the recently graded ERM with stage 3 or stage 4 ERMs. And seeing at the outlook on the OCT, it becomes very indistinct, or it becomes it becomes very hard to differentiate both the entities on just seeing the OCT. There was a very interesting article on OCT appraisal of combined hematomas by Rohan Chawla et al. From the AIIMS, where they described 16 lesions which were predominantly macular. And what they found was intact RPE in all the cases, and the lesions were limited only till the outer plexiform layer. RPE was noted to be intact in all the eyes, and there was no evidence of increased reflectivity or thickening of the RPE to suggest hypertrophy or hyperplasia of RPE in any of the 16 lesions. So what they postulated was the involvement of RPE was not there on the OCT, so why the term being termed as a macular combined hematoma of retina and RPE. So we dig deep into this multimodal imaging and compared the peripapillary and the macular cases. This was a retrospective observational comparative case series where we compared the clinical OCT and fundus autofluorescence characteristics of 50 eyes of 49 patients diagnosed with combined hematoma. What we found was the full thickness involvement was predominantly in the peripapillary cases, along with the ellipsoid disruption and RPE disruption. And these changes were minimum in the macular cases as well as the peripheral cases. In the OCT picture of the peripapillary cases, we see a full thickness retinal disorganization along with focal or diffuse involvement of RPE involvement in form of hypertrophy or hyperplasia. in the macular cases, as described before, were predominantly limited to the outer plexiform layer, and RPE was intact in all the cases. Another feature which we evaluated was the pattern of pigmentation seen particularly in the peripapillary cases, which has been described in the literature as filigree pattern of pigmentation. Now, these pigments are predominantly RP cell, which are seen in the histopathological slides to be migrating throughout the retinal layers, and to an extent that they obscure the superficial retinal vasculature, which is seen in the hypoautofluorescence pattern. The pigmentation, however, which we see in the macular cases is not the kind which we observe in the peripapillary cases. It is a subtle, attenuated, deep subretinal hue which we observe in the macular cases, which does not alter the hypoautofluorescence pattern at the macula. Now, this pigmentation is very well related to the vascularity, which has been shown in the histopathology, where the RP cells seem to migrate through these fine capillaries and are found in the vicinity of the major and the minor blood vessels inherent to the combined hematoma. So we evaluated the OCTA pattern, vascular pattern of combined hematoma on OCT angiography, and we found these filigree pattern of vasculature, which we termed as filigree pattern owing to the vicinity in the deeper capillary plexus. And these were predominantly related and proportional to the amount of pigmentation, thereby proportional to the extent of disorganization seen on the OCT. And these were barely traceable in the macular cases. Now, coming to the congenital simple hematoma of the RPE, these were described by Lacroix, and the clinical characteristics were jet black prominent lesions in otherwise normal eyes with no evidence of significant previous ocular disease. These are benign, non-progressive, and most of the patients are diagnosed incidentally. These have been termed as RP hematoma, which show 3 patterns of involvement, which were described by Gass as a superficial involvement or partial thickness involvement, full thickness involvement with periretinal extension, and full thickness involvement with intrinsic vascularity. Histopathological correlation is just for one case in cases of congenital simple hematoma of retinal pigment epithelium owing to the asymptomatic nature and the benign course. The single case which they have studied the histopathology showed the predominance of hyperplastic and metaplastic RP cells lacking any significant angiomatous component. Single or a group, so they postulated a hypothesis regarding the pathogenesis of this entity as single or a group of RP cells which migrate to the retinal surface during embryogenesis and then proliferate into a hematomatous lesion that did not involve the entire retinal thickness. OCT in congenital simple hematoma retinal pigment epithelium is inconclusive due to the prominent backshadowing where we cannot evaluate the outer retinal structures. However, the Shields et al. published a case series of 5 cases where they characteristically showed a feeding retinal arteriole and a draining venule in these cases. And these have been corroborated on the OCT angiogram both in the superficial and deep capillary plexus where we can see the continuity of the feeder and the draining retinal arteriole. Also, the utility of OCT angio in these cases, because the fluorescein angiography, fluorescein is masked by the pigmentation and produces predominantly blocked fluorescence, and the OCT angio showed the inherent vasculature in radially oriented retinal vessels, which were continuous with the vasculature inside the simple hematoma. The functional correlation there shows the hyposensitivity in the microperimetry and the reduced density in the adaptive optics of the cone. So I would just like to conclude with certain questions to the panelists that would it be wise considering OCT to refute the diagnosis of macular combined hematoma of retinal pigment epithelium in grade 3 or 4 ERM or vice versa? If no, then what other options, clinical features, or imaging modalities we have to differentiate between the two entities? And looking at the remarkable differences both on the histopathology and multimodal imaging between peripapillary and macular lesion, is there a need to redefine the diagnosis of macular combined hematoma? Thank you.